Travis Wayne Goodsell. In this morning's video, I referred to the curse of Joseph Smith for you, talking about the deaths of President Hinckley and Monson. As any of you who have been following me for a while know that I did the research on the deaths of those who became presidents of the Church of Brigham Young's religion. All dying. And the sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood, stars fall from heaven. In the church news today, Bonnie Parkin died. So instantly, I now know that it did not follow the pattern for lunar eclipses for Relief Society presidents and their deaths. But if you've heard me talk about Nelson, I informed you that there would only be one way for Nelson now to fit the pattern, because the latter days are over with. I mean, granted, we have the solar and lunar eclipse coming up for tabernacles this year, but we're out of the latter days. But an exception, if it were to be for like August 3rd, 9th Ave, is with the fall of the great and abominable church. That would be the one excuse for Nelson not fitting the pattern. So for Parkin to die, be reported on today. I'm assuming that she did die today. That wasn't yesterday. Let me check it again. The moon, I do know, yeah, 29th of July, dead. So they're saying it's today. I transferred the files, but I do recall the moon being in Virgo. But that may be a different pattern. So come with me, we'll take a trip on the mighty Mississippi to go over the Relief Society presidents, because I never did get to it. Never did make the test to look for patterns. So the first one, so Joseph Smith was assassinated during The Sun Shall Be Darkened, Moon Turned to Blood. Emma did not die. She lasted longer than the end of the church. So she died April 30th, 1879. 30th April 1879 for Emma. This is how you do research, guys. Taking you on a journey on how it's done. This is how you're supposed to study your scriptures too. So on and so forth. Lunar eclipses, 1879. Look for time and dates. Got a bunch of other stuff going on. Okay, here's time and date. Solar and lunar eclipses. Eclipses by year. 1879. This year is not supported. Great, then what good are you? Despite the advertising, would you allow me to do a download of the picture? Let's find out. Let's find out. Yes, you do. Good for you. Good for you. Remember when I used to complain that they weren't allowing me to see these for advertising? Okay, so let's go back in time from when it will be supported. Then we'll come back to Emma. So Elaine Jack, who I recall dying, which June 10th. That also misses. Parkin, 7/29. Jack, 10 June. God, I'm not doing this. She doesn't make it either. There's a lunar eclipse. Was back on Purim. So already I'm seeing a very high likelihood of no, there is no curse of Emma Smith. But maybe another pattern would emerge if I were to keep on going. Gather all the evidence, not ignore stuff just because it's not faith promoting. I don't like that. Don't like it. I'm not going to do it. Okay, so Woodhead Winder, June 25th. July, August. She's before. So again, I'm not seeing a pattern match, but she's in the first year of the latter days, which may be an exception for Woodhead Winder. June. Likewise, she's in June, as this is in July. Gather the evidence. Look for patterns. Was it Smoot that also? Yeah. Smoot. February 2025. Smoot. 2/10/2025. So I'm assuming Beck, Burton, Bingham are still alive. Barbara Smith, 2010. Barb Smith, 13 September 2010. Okay. We can check 2010. They do indeed have that. So September. July was the eclipse that year. Interesting. Interesting. So lunar was 26th of June. And then the 21st of December. My mom's death date, 15 years earlier, or 13 years earlier. 11 years earlier. God. Stupid math in my head. So no lunar eclipse pattern. That is very obvious here now. So the curse of Emma Smith, if there is one, is something else. And that's why we need to find Emma Smiths. So let's try again for lunar eclipses, or, well, what do we check? We'd have to check the skies to see for another pattern. And for that, I cannot have you recording with me, because it'll shut down the camera. February 2nd, 1982 was Spafford. Spafford to February 1982. There was a solar eclipse on the 25th of January, but that makes her unique, as there was also a lunar eclipse on January 9th, which would fit for the curse of Joseph Smith pattern. But like I said, it doesn't work for the curse of Emma Smith. So that's simply how it's done. We'll just make this a quick video. So I would need to check 30th of April 1879, because 1844 she didn't die. So we would then need to check. So I'll put her death sign in this video for you. And get the other picture of Emma. Rather than the Wikipedia page picture. Alrighty. So, if by chance I happen to find something, we'll start up again. But that's what we're waiting for. It's the fall of the great and abominable church. And I know Mormons who are showing up for the first time, they didn't hear any of my other 8.8K videos, they don't understand, and therefore I'm wrong. You know better than me because you're so smart, you study so much. Bleep you all. I'm back because there is something interesting and very curious going on. So Emma Smith, the moon for the church religion, is at the star Regulus for Emma Smith's death, 4th of April or 30th of April, 1879. So that automatically caught my attention. Joseph Smith's wife at the King Star of Leo, Regulus, is right there with the moon. The sun is in Aries, the Ram-Lam constellation for sacrifice. Venus is between the horns of Taurus, the transfer of authority bull, Apis bull. Use the terminology specifically, and if you've been following me, you understand what I'm referring to. So those are the things I'm looking for the deaths of Relief Society presidents. This is the sign of Emma's death. Aries, Leo, Taurus, and Virgo. Joseph Smith translation, Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. The woman is Joseph Smith's church. Just as the church is the bride of Christ, symbolically, Joseph Smith's wife, Emma, would be Virgo, the woman. So that's what we looked for. So I went back to Parkin, and I didn't do the, oh, that is the moon. I didn't do Venus. But yeah, the moon, Virgo, there at her chest. 5 days in. Also significant. So I didn't check where Venus was. I can't remember. So, despite not remembering where Venus was this morning, going to Elaine Jack on June 10th, 2025, we have Venus in Aries at the beginning of it, with the Aritids at the rear of Aries. So that's significant. And then the moon was clear across the skies at the throne of Ophiuchus. So, Relief Society president of the Relief Society of the church, sacrificed for death, the moon on the throne with 2 falling stars. 3 if you count the one at the tail. So 3 falling stars at the tail of serpents. Fascinating. So yeah, you have Mars right there at Regulus. That's for Nelson. And then Smoot should be next. Yep. February 10th, 2025. Venus is on the back of the white horse, Revelation 19. The moon is at the Beehive cluster in the Crab constellation with a falling stars, Cancerids. So there is signs in the heavens accompanying each of the Relief Society sisters' deaths, as I caught on, which is why I'm continuing the video for you. But no consistent pattern as there is for presidents of the church until Nelson. Nelson got away with it, unless the fall of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints accompanies his death. 2017 is Winder, June 25th. Venus is at the tail end of Aries. The moon is right there at the tail of the Crab constellation. And September 13th, 2010 for Barbara Smith. The sun is on the crown of Virgo, as Venus is there at the legs. The moon has been judged. She is dead. And then Spafford does not have a death sign in heavens consistent for the others that I just went over. So why? Pop quiz. You're being tested. Get your support animal. Because she fits, the sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood. There's the exception for Spafford. See how we did that? Because Venus was at the rear of Sagittarius, almost to the head of the goat beast, but it's and then the moon is at the jaw of Taurus the bull. So it really doesn't fit the symbolism on her death day. But sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood. So it'd be interesting to find out why Spafford follows the curse of Joseph Smith. What did she do when she was Relief Society president? That's what you then need to do research on to understand why that anomaly for her. And then I would continue on back all the way to the woman who Brigham Young put in some 20 years later to start up the Relief Society presidency again. We need your votes, women. We've got to overthrow the government. Vote for polygamy. Vote for me, and you will never go hungry again. Be prepared. Be prepared. I got frozen 16 seconds in, but oh silly me, when I checked for today's sign in the heavens again. Venus is in between the horns of Taurus the bull at Orion, the club of Orion, right before the foot of Syracuse. I should have remembered that. And so yes, it corresponds similarly with Emma having Venus in between the horns, but different for today. So yes, I do see a sign in the heavens pattern for Parkin, different from Spafford, who was the anomaly but has the excuse. And then I'd have to check the others, but yeah, so it'll be interesting if this being not the test run for the end of the world, I mean the second coming of Jesus, if they can actually go through with it, as I'm doing what I can to try to stop it. But Oakes threatened, you can't stop it, Travis. It's gonna happen. And Benson said, Joseph Smith is wrong. Constitution will not be saved in Washington. Joseph is wrong. He's a false prophet. Study your Book of Mormon. You're all under condemnation. And McConkie, you're going to get nuked. There's no guarantee you're going to live. I know no better now than I will know then. You're going to get nuked. We're all doomed. God.